Hey guys, this is Mike here for another video. Thought I'd give you two today, and this is basically another update to Mike's journey. I'm here at London Bridge. Got that shard and everything over there, and over here, got the water. And just been having a job hunt day. Been up 5:30 in the morning as usual, straight up to go and see if anybody's hiring. And I wanted to kind of talk about the aspect of morality. And the reason I wanted to talk about morality was because I don't think people understand it as well. And it applies a lot more to me and the reason why I do these videos. And I don't do it like to kind of attack people or attack YouTube channels or... Sorry, just checking my bike there. Or attack individuals per se. I do it when I find things morally questionable and I discuss them. You know, I do it because I want to discuss things. And a lot of people come out to me and just like, they say certain things like, oh, you just hate these people, you're jealous because you're homeless and you don't have what these people have. Really not. And the reason being is they're a whole different landscape comparison to me. I've never wanted to make money being a game reviewer on YouTube, or doing YouTube videos that include gaming, or being like the angry video game nerd. That's not the guy that I kind of looked up to. When I was a kid, I looked up to guys like Hulk Hogan. The first WrestleMania I've ever watched was WrestleMania 7, and it was because my parents, my dad, who always used to work, they set up a shop up in Norwood, and I met a kid who was like, hey, I like this guy called the Ultimate Warrior. You should check out this thing. It's called the WWF. Check it out. And that's what I did. I checked it out. I enjoyed the match between Hogan versus Slaughter for the WWF Championship at the time. It was like this big purple belt. Slaughter turned and joined Iraq in the Iraqi War. Yeah, General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa, and which I think it was Adnan. No, it was I think it was Colonel Mustafa. Was actually the Iron Sheik, believe it or not. But it makes me laugh when people sit there and say, oh, you want to be as big as this guy, you want to do what this guy's doing. The reason I don't monetize my YouTube channel, one of the reasons, is because it's not, it doesn't mean anything to me. I'll get a little bit of money for it, and I wouldn't really be, it wouldn't be what it is now. I use it as a way for me to communicate with people and to stop myself from going crazy. Whereas others use it as a way to make money, which is not sustainable income, And even though you've got Patreon kind of filling the gaps at the moment, it's still not sustainable income, because I don't agree that Patreon should be used for YouTubers. I don't believe it should be used for someone unless they create content. Content creators and YouTubers are different. Making a Let's Play video so that you're shooting down stuff and commenting on things to sound funny, that's not a creation, Making a video that works on, showing something or reviewing something or talking about your life experiences, I would actually consider that a bit more performative and a bit more of an art form, because I believe in the arts. The arts are a huge thing for me, and it's always been a part of my life. Now, going back to the Hogan story, I was asked the question today as well about why people are the way they are. That it's, some form of acceptance, or it's some sort of reality in that they're just raised this way, or someone's suing Netflix because their daughter got pregnant. And it's all because we've become a culture of consumption. That's all it is. We consume. We want the newest thing, and some of us guys out there, and some of you lovely folks, go out there and you purchase stuff that you buy with your hard-earned money. You work a 9-to-5 shift and you want to buy an Xbox, or you want to buy a PlayStation, or a brand new TV, or you want to pay your rent and you've got a little bit of money left over for other things, for consumables. You want to do that. Others, like have you seen a guy who recently filed for bankruptcy, Mr. 50 Cent himself, likes to buy stuff to look like bling. Oh look, I've got loads of gold, or I've got loads of jewels. They're kind of things that you call consumables, but they're more of wants than needs. The same thing goes for a TV or your favorite console, but I would put them in the middle of a want and need in a sense, because it's something that allows you to pass the time and enjoy yourself. Whereas consumables like bling doesn't really have you enjoy yourself. It's just something wrapped around your neck. Now, what has this got to do with anything? In a sense, I was raised in a poor household. My parents at the time were losing everything. My dad's putting everything into his business, and he ended up basically taking a lot of his anger and aggression out on myself and my brothers. We would get, some may call it abuse, others may call it discipline. We would get like a lot of like hits, you know. Then I would go to school and I'd get like abused there and beaten up by kids because I was different. Some because of my eyes, others because I'm an Arab guy, so I could grow facial hair rather quickly in comparison to others. And that kind of thing never stopped. And people wonder, like, oh, you know, it's the child that gets neglected by their parents, so they're not raised a certain way. And the reason that I'm in prison because my mum didn't hug me enough. It's not that. You choose to be whoever you want to be in life. It's my mistakes that have gotten me here. I own up to my mistakes. I'm not like the next guy who sits there and says it's the immigrants that are taking your jobs, or it's the Muslims that are causing our wars. I'm responsible for everything I've ever done in my life, and that's a fact. I will always take responsibility for me and me alone, and every mistake that I have ever made. And I've been like that since I was a kid. I've made my mistakes along the way, I've made my follies along the way. I, ended up with a gang of people who treated me like shit, and I was too stupid to even know it. I was told I could never be anything in my life, and that I could never be anything meaningful, that I should just get a 9-to-5 job because I'm a dreamer, by teachers, and that I was too stupid to do anything else. And this is from the age of nursery, primary school, even secondary school at one point, until I proved people wrong. I sat down and I started learning things for my own. My way of learning was different from everyone else. I'm a lateral thinker. I think by doing. My whole concept in my life is to do stuff. If I need to find out how a maths would work, I would break a double-digit number down into its singular source. It would basically like you break a 10 down into, say, like a what would they call it? Like a digit. So you'd have it's 50. I'd break it down to a 5, and then do the sum that way, and then times it by 10 again to bring that number. And that's the way it works. Tens and units. I convert that way, and it works for me, and it's how I do things. And I found my own process, and I learned to do other things, and I strived to be a better person. Every time I get on a job, I will read the manual back and forth, and I will practice and learn everything I need to do about those jobs. And I used to get a lot of hate for doing it because, oh, these after our job. It was, no, I wanted to do the best that I could do. And that's the thing. A lot of people say, oh, you're very intelligent, you're very profound. These things never came overnight. I wasn't born this way. I chose to be more than what people labeled me as. And that's kind of the whole point of this video, I think, labels. People label me as a troublemaker currently, as a guy who picks fights with people. Others label me as an intelligent person who strives to do better and be better, and just calls out the BS. I'm just a storyteller. That's all I've ever wanted to be, and that's all I am. I sit there and I tell you guys a story about what I'm up to, and tell you what my reality is. And sometimes if something comes to my attention, I will discuss it, because that's who I am. I want to discuss it so I can open up the kind of communication points to each and every one of you out there. So I can get a video response, so I can get a text response, so you can share it with your friends and say, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think he's right, or do you think he's going nuts? I don't expect people to use what I do as gospel. I expect everybody in their own minds and their own rights to research and figure out for themselves if something's right, if something's wrong, or if something's just plain asinine. It's not about what others label you as. It's what you feel that you're worth. Me? Well, I believe I'm worth £1 million, so that's what I should be paid. But who knows? You know, I'm just the guy who does these little videos and who keeps communication with the open world, and I'm going to continue to do so. And I want to give a great big shout out to each and every one of my new subscribers, because I went from having 300 and I believe 96 subscribers to 412 overnight after I did the Angry Joe video. And I want to say a great big thank you. And what I want to try and do is initiate video responses. So for this video, you know, I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think. You know, what your opinion is on this. Do you believe labels are, you know, apparent? And I also want to ask you your story. Tell me about yourselves. You know, I've got all these over 400 people on my channel who I don't even know. Some of you I do know, but I want to know your stories. Tell us about yourself. Tell everybody about who you are. You know, leave a little thing at the bottom in the comments section. I want to know, because just like London, there's a whole huge world out there for each and every one of us to explore, and let's start here. So I hope you enjoyed today anyway, and that's my update for week 3. Still searching for work, still pondering the facts of life, and to each and every one of you I just want to say a great big thank you. I mean it. For those who are just sticking by me, who are listening to my ravings and ramblings, and who don't think I'm insane, thank you. And for those who do and still stick by me, thank you double time. So yeah, that's me. I'm done. You have a lovely day, and you know, hope the sun finally comes out and starts shining.